Well, this is a big update which is coming in from that conflict between Israel and Hamas. It is reported that there is yet another blast in the Gaza Strip that has been reported, and an entire block of the Khan Yunis hospital has been destroyed. 13 people are dead. That's the latest bit of information that we are getting right now. The humanitarian crisis that continues to unfold in the Gaza Strip has been a cause of concern for across the world, whether it's the World Health Organization, whether it's the United Nations. India, with its firm support to Israel, has also said that despite its support, one needs to look at the humanitarian crisis which is unfolding. Let me see if Abhishek is with us on the broadcast. He's in Israel right now. He's been reporting on this war. Abhishek, tell us more about this blast.
Well, Arusha, this is yet another attack on its civilian infrastructure. More than a dozen civilian infrastructure has been under attack of Israeli forces in the last 10 days or so, ever since the counteroffensive has begun. And more than that, I mean, the attack on hospital comes especially at a time when Israel is already being criticized or held accountable by certain countries of attack on a hospital in Gaza Strip, which killed about 500 people. So this humanitarian crisis that is again evolving in Gaza has become now a center point of the discussion around the world. Israeli counteroffensive, though, it is trying to target Hamas, associate Hamas terrorists. But the point is they are so well embedded and so mixed up with the population that it is really difficult to separate the terrorists from the civilian. And this is the pretext on which Israel continues its attack on such buildings, where apparently they're trying to, target Hamas terrorists who are hiding in these civilian infrastructure buildings, and they are also trying to, make human or the civilian people in Gaza Strip as their shield. So this is what Israeli forces have been saying, that the casualties of civilians which has happened, which is happening right now every day, is because most of the time Hamas militants are trying to put humans or civilians as a shield to avoid any upcoming attack from the Israeli counteroffensive.
Abhishek, the key thing that we've been reporting since morning, and it was prevalent in the reports that you'd also sent, that there is a hostage-like situation which is there in different parts of Gaza. A lot of Israelis have been held hostage by Hamas, and Israel has said that it's going to allow unfettered access to any kind of aid coming in once all the hostages are free. That's part one. Secondly, the attacks that we're talking about, when there was this attack at a hospital in Gaza which claimed more than 500 lives, we saw the kind of blame game that panned out between Israel and Hamas, and I believe even after this attack a similar sort of situation will unfold. In this humanitarian crisis, a war is one thing, and the humanitarian crisis, of course, is the biggest casualty of it. Can there international organizations like United Nations and WHO, can they play any kind of decisive role to avert situations like these?
In fact, Arusha, whatever little humanitarian aid is reaching to the people of Gaza right now is being assisted and coordinated by these agencies of United Nations only, and some NGOs who have been working in that sector, in that area. Even now, when we have seen Russian IL-17 aircraft taking a lot of humanitarian tons of medical aid, food, supplies, water, and that will be going through the Egyptian border to the Gaza Strip through the Red Crescent organization. So these NGOs and these international organizations are the only hope for the people of Gaza right now, because the supplies of essential stuff is stopped at the Gaza border from the Israeli side. They don't have other option but the Egyptian border, and that border is also kind of, there has been a lot of back and forth because Israelis did not want that to open, and Egyptian side also did not want that to open. On the counteroffensive side, Israelis are really in a tight spot, because if they go all out in the war and territorial war, they may inflict a lot more casualties, because those Hamas terrorists are well trenched there, and the street fights could bring in more casualty for Israeli soldiers, and that is what Israelis don't want. And so the entire game there is very in a complicated situation, where the fight against terrorism is also justified, but at the same time, the humanitarian crisis that is evolving in Gaza is something that is also very essential to be addressed.
Absolutely. Abhishek, can I please request you to stay with us on the broadcast? I'd like to take this conversation forward with you, but I want to include Mr. Ashok Sajjanar, the former diplomat in this conversation. Mr. Sajjanar, good evening. Good to have you on the show. It's not great news coming in from the Gaza Strip. Yet another hospital has been a point of attack and a strike. We don't know who did it. Of course, Israel is going to blame Hamas and Hamas will blame Israel. But the humanitarian crisis is only escalating. It is confirmed that about 13 people are dead and the death toll can only go up, sir.
Yeah, that's right. I think it was really expected that once this war on the Gaza starts, that there are going to be a number of civilian casualties. And now, of course, here what we see, first with the first hospital attack, and now this is the second one that has come. I think as far as the first hospital attack is concerned, it is by and large certain that it has not been done by Israel. It might have been sort of, done unintentionally by, maybe a misfire of a rocket that might have taken place by the Islamic Jihad or the Hamas. And that is what seems to have happened there, because really, what the Hamas is expected to say and what it has been saying is that Israel has done it, but of course the worldwide, the Arab street is very credulous as far as these allegations are concerned. They will believe, they will sort of continue to demonstrate and at times even get violent in front of the Israeli and the US embassies. Now the second attack is concerned, we have to see how, because there have to be some facts and evidence. Of course, Hamas will jump to the conclusion without any facts. So Israel will really have to see. But, of course, now we are seeing increasingly it has its back to the wall. And, more of such attacks take place, more the international pressure, the global pressure on Israel is going to increase. And we've seen that as far as the attacks, although the land incursion, the land invasion has not taken place, has not started as yet. It's only the airstrikes that are taking place. So both as far as these attacks and the deaths that are concerned, the casualties that are concerned on the ground of the ordinary civilians, and also on the southern Rafah crossing, because Israel has also very categorically stated that no supplies will be able to come from there unless we get the hostages out. That seems to be the quid pro quo. That seems to be the, what they are demanding of Hamas to do. And Hamas, of course, it serves their purpose, because the more the Gazan people suffer, the more the international community will, apply greater pressure on Israel. So I think it's a catch-22 situation, in fact, for Israel. So they'll really have to see how to take it forward.
Mr. Sajjanar, thank you so much for joining us. My colleague Abhishek Jha also getting us all the reports. Let's also cut across to the special report. As we were talking earlier, the experts were pointing out how aid through the Rafah border has been allowed. It's a call that Israel and Egypt have taken. Before we play out that report, I want to go for one more quick question to Abhishek Jha. He's back with us on the broadcast. Abhishek, most of the experts pointing out to the escalating humanitarian crisis, and I believe that's going to dominate the discourse in the days to come. Israel indeed has a right to defend itself like any other nation, and strongly so. And the destruction of Hamas is something that most of the Western superpowers have supported Israel in their demand and in their conviction. But when it comes to the humanitarian aid, when it comes to the blockade that we are witnessing along the Gaza Strip, have you seen any kind of softening of position from the side of Israelis? And if not, is that something which is likely to happen?
Well, Anisha, it is sad to see that, but when you walk across the streets of Israel and other places, what you would see people's rage and their anger, their frustration about the entire atrocities and carnage that the terrorists did about 10 days ago in most of the southern towns of Gaza. All the citizens, there were barrage of rockets that was fired. Innocent people were killed. About 1,300 Israelis and 200 of them soldiers. Also, it was not just a killing in one rocket fire. It was a 10-hour torture, sadistic pleasure that these militants took while killing each of them with the most heinous way that one can imagine. So, that is a palpable tension. That's the kind of frustration that the people in Israel has, and that is also putting a lot of pressure on the Israeli government that they should go all out and confront whatever is awaiting there as in form of terrorists or any opposition of Israel in Gaza, because they know that the Gaza Strip is the holdout of militants. The world, the entire world community is trying to bring the temperature down, but it will not be as easy because the people of Israel are not going to be, relaxed. They are not going to be happy unless until the outcome of this entire tragedy is given to them something in sort of some major offensive or major destruction of Hamas network, and that is not happening right now until